Alright, my name is Hannah, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how we can get the most out of guest speakers. So far in Insight, we've already been given so many opportunities, such as working with mentors, going on field trips, and many more. And according to teachingpurpose.org, students tend to be more pertained in a subject or a lesson when it's about something that they're interested in. So if we're going to bring in guest speakers who are professionals in what they do and they're talking about stuff that will be beneficial to us in our project groups, people are going to be listening more and they're going to get more out of it. So we can use the knowledge from our guest speakers in our own work. And I know I speak for my project group, but I'm sure a lot of you guys can use this too. But with the information our guest speakers so far have given us, we can create surveys, plan our projects, and overall just create a final marketing plan for our group. So far, we've only had 3 guest speakers this year, but hopefully we do end up having more so that we can get more information out of them. But the guest speakers we have had were the 2 ladies from Harley-Davidson who talked about project management, Miss Bentley from Pewaukee School District who talked about survey design, and Miss Larson-Horn from Pewaukee High School who talked about Google Forms. And I know a lot of this information is very helpful to our group when we are working with the chocolate factory, and I'm sure this information that we're learning from the guest speakers is also beneficial to a lot of your groups, and we can use this information to help just with our group projects in general. So the first guest speaker we had at the beginning of the year were the 2 women from Harley-Davidson, and their main point, or main topic they touched on during the speech was project management skills. And the 4 categories under project management are plan, do, check, and act. And for plan, the main thing they talked about was creating an action register. So then after they talked about that, we created an action register, and I know it's been very helpful for our group. And we always go back and update it to make sure that we're all getting our work done on time, or who's in charge of doing what assignment, and we can see when they're due and if they still need to be worked on. And by organizing our information that way, we can see, oh, if this person isn't done yet, we can help them to make it get done faster. For do, the main thing she talked about there was assigning different roles to team members. So project manager, communication specialist, content specialist, and within those content specialists assigning specific things each one has to work on. So that way everyone is doing their own part and then it all comes together in the end. Another main thing she talked about was establishing team norms, and we did that on the first or second day we had our groups. And that has been really helpful for us because we can see if somebody is absent, if they're sick or if they're in a mentor meeting or something, what the steps they would have to take in order to figure out what they missed or what they need to get done. And if somebody isn't finishing what they're supposed to be doing, the consequences that would come out of that. And every week at the beginning of the week we have a little mini meeting on Monday to talk about with our group, and we are checking up on what we did last week, and then we're going to figure out what we need to do this week so we can go back. It kind of goes along with plan 2 with going back to updating the action register. And then at the end of the week we send a little email to our project supervisors checking in on what we did the past week and what we need to do the next week. And this is really helpful because if we see that somebody isn't getting done what they have to, or if we're back, or if we're stuck and we aren't moving forward, we can backtrack and make sure that we are getting done what we need to get done. And the final one was act, and that kind of wraps everything else up. We just need to act on all of our different aspects of the project at the end of the semester to give a final presentation to our businesses and just deliver the marketing plan. So Miss Bentley talked about survey design, and according to Miss Bentley, the purpose of surveys is to get information and data and analyze that data. And for our survey, we're trying to figure out what the target market of Chocolate Factory is. And he already kind of said that his main target market was moms, since they are the ones who make the most financial decisions in the family, deciding where they want to go out to eat. So we asked questions such as, what is your age, what is your gender, do you have any kids, so we can see how many of the people taking the survey who are moms and bring their kids in the chocolate factory, what they think of the chocolate factory. And another main part of the project is creating a strong social media presence. So we ask questions such as, what social media are you using most often, how often do you use it? And right now he has an Instagram account and a Facebook account, so we just wanted to see what the target market, which social media they're using most often, so we can know where we have to be where we have to have the strongest presence on social media, so we can use the results from the survey to determine that. And Ms. Larson-Horn also kind of talked about surveys, but more specifically with just creating the Google form. And that helped us because we could create a form that let us know, like if they answered yes to this question, it would take them to a different question. If they answered no, it would take them to a different question. So by doing that, we can get the most like effective answers, and we can find trends. So kind of touching back on what I said on the last slide with the target market of moms, usually like adults are more present on Facebook and like younger kids are more present on like Instagram, Snapchat. So we can find the trends, seeing if like the adults are using Facebook more often, or what social media is being used most often in general. And right now he doesn't have a Twitter, and he said he doesn't plan on having a Twitter or Snapchat. But if we do find that a lot of people are on Snapchat or Twitter, it might be beneficial for him to create a Snapchat or Twitter account, because then he'll get more recognition off those platforms. So the information that we get from our guest speakers is helpful, not only helpful in insight, but also in the real world in our futures when we all get real jobs. Because when we're working with our coworkers, we always have to do these like different project management skills, such as planning with our coworkers and what we want to do next, checking in with them to make sure they're getting everything done. So if like we're working in a group on a project, those skills are very important. So just overall, it is very important to listen to these guest speakers and use the information that they give us to get the best possible experience out of Insight. Thank you.